Good morning. You want to get into your spot? Where is your spot going to be this morning? Yeah, what's in there? Those are limes. You don't like those very much. No. Okay. He's off camera. You can't see him, I suppose, because he's sitting in front of me on the floor, just outside of the range of the camera. So good morning. Welcome for your morning practice. I'm glad that you're here. Let's sit quietly together for a little bit, and then we'll embark into our practice. So please take a comfortable seat, upright as you prefer it to be. You can rest your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. Listen to the experience of morning. In the Pacific Northwest, we do have daylight now at this time when this class is beginning. I know that may not be the case in Alaska. We can listen for the sounds of the morning arriving. So we say there are two most optimal sattvic times of day, sunrise and sunset. These auspicious sattvic times of the day are ideal for being in your practice. If you listen right now to the sounds at this time of day, you likely don't have all the noise of commerce or merchant culture. It hasn't yet kind of taken over the morning. You may have the sounds of birdsong, the sounds of nature waking up. Therefore, in the mind, may we not have all the, the mental noise, the sort of like internal commerce of the mind. And though it may be difficult to sense it, if you listen for the absence of your own mental noise, listen for the larger space behind the rising and passing of thought. Listen for that which isn't the mental Ferris wheel. Listening for that, which is not the mental mumbo jumbo, as I call it sometimes. It's a bit like gazing at a painting on a canvas and actually seeing the blank canvas on which the painting was then created, but still be able to see that there was a blank canvas at one time. There was an open, empty space, receptive to the painting. So listening for that which is not your own thoughts, that which is not the mental Ferris wheel. Listen for that on which the life process is being painted. Hopefully with a sense of connection to that, you can now move the Ujjayi breath up and down the central channel of the body. And let's have the Ujjayi be subtle. Since you're not right now in a dynamic yoga pose, use the subtle form of the Ujjayi. So you're not obscuring that sense of the canvas. The breath doesn't become so dynamic or so encompassing that you lose your relationship with that. And please bring your palms together at your heart in Anjali Mudra. We'll chant the Gayatri mantra this morning. Now let's begin. Om Bhargava Svaha Tat Savitor Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhargava Svaha Tat Savitor Varenyam Bhargo. Yeah, you are a little bit mischievous, as you should be. Okay, I'd like you to have a couple of blocks, and if you're sitting cross-legged like this, we call Siddhasana, where you have your hips, pubic bone, and then the heels are lined up. And take the 2 blocks. Okay, he's lying down. He's about to push something off of the chair, but you guys probably won't notice that. Okay, walk the blocks forward and bow your torso forward. And as you breathe into the back hemisphere of the body, imagine again that you're sensing that larger space on which your life is being painted. It's being danced, whatever way you'd like to imagine that. As if, once again, gazing at a painting on a canvas, but still being able to see the canvas on which the painting was made. That was the cat pushing something off the shelf. You breathe in deeply, and then exhale completely. Walk your blocks and your hands back. Now imagine whatever that is for you, let's say north, and we're gonna walk a little bit to the northwest and stretch out with both blocks. Keep the left hip grounded behind you. Breathe in the subtle form of the Ujjayi breath. Breathe out. See if you can balance your attention for the breath, which you all have experience with, and your primary attention on that larger space in which this is unfolding. And exhale. Walk your blocks back up. And so that was north, let's say northwest, and we're going to go a little bit further northwest west. Again, reach back with your left hip. Go ahead and slide both hands out, but keep the left hip grounded. And try rotating your chest and heart to your right. So there'll be a gentle sense of that rotation in the heart. You may have to press the right hand firmly down against the block to support that twist. And then exhale and walk your blocks back up, come up to sitting. We're going to go in the other direction. So let's go northeast. Keep the right hip grounded. As you reach both hands forward, press down into your left palm. Lengthen your right arm and draw the right hip back. And then walking the blocks back as you exhale. You come north, northeast. Now we're going to go northeast, east. Slide the blocks out. Come into the Ujjayi sound so you can hear that, but don't make it so encompassing that you lose your relationship with the larger space. That larger mental space I'm referring to there. Press down through your left hand so you can rotate your chest and heart to your left. And then exhale and walk your blocks back, rise up to sitting. Okay, and here, I'm going to ask you to check now, if you were to clasp the hands and bow forward from this position, how high would you need your blocks to be to support your head? So something like this. And you can check the height that you actually need for this morning, what your hips are saying you need, what your spine is saying you need. And go ahead and set that up for yourself. And then come up to your seat, interlace your fingers. Take the heels of the hands and press them straight down. And let's inhale. So as customary, we've been doing this for several weeks now. When you're rising up with the heart, also lift your eyes. And then exhale, level your head, side bend to your left. Inhale up to center. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, rise. Now this one we're just learning. Exhale, rotate right and bring the side of the wrist down to the outside of your right thigh. Inhale, twist your heart to the right, the upper back. And then exhale, rotate your lower belly to the right. Okay, inhale, rise up. Exhale, over to the left. And inhale, twist your heart to the left. And then exhale your lower belly to the left. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, arms wide. We're going to clasp the hands at the small of the back. And inhale to go up with your chest and your heart. Exhale, bow forward. We're going to stay down for a little bit here. So as you bow forward with support for your head, squeeze the shoulders and the arms up towards the ceiling. Keep your hips at rest on your blanket. And then inhale, roll up to sit. Release the clasp of your hands. Rest your hands out over your knees. And take your mind back behind the narrative of life to sense the canvas on which it's been getting painted. And now we'll practice Vastrika. So take a little sip of an inhale, like half breath or so. Exhale. Inhale Ujjayi through the nose. Suspend. Exhale through the nose. Exhale completely and thoroughly squeeze the low belly. So at the end of the exhale, you're going to radically relax the abdomen. Receive the next in-breath. And now Kapalabhati. So this is through the nose. Again, a little piece of an inhale, a portion of an inhale, and then we go at a consistent pace. Exhale completely. Inhale, filling up, lower, middle, and upper. Suspend the inhale at the top. Bring the right hand up. Exhale, left nostril only. Inhale, left. Suspend. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Suspend. Exhale, left. And deeply relax. I'll finish with one practice here that we'll pick up at the end of class. Please interlace your fingers. Place your hands on top of your head. Make a little squeeze of the heels of the hands down against the head. Reach up through the crown of your skull so your posture is really upright, it's toned, there's a sense of integration. But the abdomen is free to receive the inhale and to work with the exhale. So we're going to inhale, lower, middle, upper thoracic. We'll hold the inhale at the top. We're going to be exhaling to go down, and we'll be squeezing the breath out. At the bottom of that, we're going to radically relax the belly without inhaling. So we'll practice that first hint of exhale suspension. And I'll say it again as we go through. So Ujjayi breath, inhale. Keeping the chest and heart lifted, inhale suspension. So snug the low belly in and up. Tone your chin down and in towards the throat. And then exhale, start lowering the hands down. Exhale out through the nose. Take your time without any urgency or apprehension. You're going to exhale completely. At the end of the exhale, for a moment, radically relax all of the exhale muscles without inhaling. Then tone the abdomen. Receive the next inhale and relax. We're going to repeat that. So place your hands on top of your head. Give a little squeeze at the heels of the hands. Lengthen your spine. Okay, inhale, Ujjayi breath, lower, middle, and upper. Exhale slowly, consistently, trying to match just about the pace of your inhale and your inhale suspension. At the bottom of the exhale, you've squeezed the belly, then radically relax the belly without inhaling. Then tone the abdomen. Inhale without gasping. And then deeply relax again. Just having a sense of that for yourself, I'd like you now to come to table pose. Place your hands so they're shoulder width apart. Your table can be also set up on your yoga mat where plank and downward dog are going to make sense to you. Let's inhale to cat pose just to warm into the spine a little bit more. Exhale to cow pose. Speaking of cats. Hi, honey. Come on in. Yeah, you can come to class. Okay, so a couple times more there. The inhale for cat pose. Exhale for cow pose. Try to sense the undulation of the spine, and that the practice again it's getting some of your attention for sure, but it's not causing you to be so consumed by the practice details that you're losing that larger space on which the painting is being expressed. Good. Then the next time that you come to cow pose, shift into table pose. And from table pose, take your right hand well forward on your yoga mat. Drop the left elbow down and stretch your right hip back. Lengthen the right hemisphere of the torso. Press down into your left elbow so the pose has sturdiness and support. And then press into your left palm. Inhale back to table. Take your left hand well forward of your right, keeping your palm grounded there. Touch the right elbow down, reach your hips back. This is called puppy dog pose, and this is a one-arm puppy dog pose. Press into your right forearm so the pose has the infrastructure that you need. Inhale deeply. And then press your right palm down, return to table pose, and momentarily sit back to kneeling. So we're going to explore now this exhale that goes into this, just this hint of the exhale suspension. So what you've done is you've squeezed the exhale, and then without inhaling, you relax the belly and just notice that there's a suction that happens inside. And I'm going to ask you not to add like wild actions to that after, but just to notice the suction. And we're going to do it in this table pose that we were just doing, one arm puppy dog pose and table pose. So place your hands, table pose again. Step your right hand well forward of your left. Make the structure of the pose stable. So the left elbow presses down. And then breathe in one Ujjayi breath. When you feel ready, you're going to follow the exhale to the end. Squeeze the low belly. Without inhaling, you'll be releasing the low belly. Before you next inhale, you'll be toning the low belly. And then press into your left palm, and let's change sides, moving through table pose to change. And then return to table pose when you're ready to, and make your table pose into downward facing dog pose, please. And in your downward dog pose, you might notice any kind of clarity you have with the breath, or an extra sense of space, or maybe just a deeper sense of intimacy with the body and the breath. And when you're ready to, please walk your feet forward on your yoga mat and come into Uttanasana, preparing for Surya Namaskar. Rooting down into your heels and toes. Please shift your hands to your hips and rise upright. And now, Surya Namaskar. Join your palms together, please. Inhale, with the Ujjayi breath, rise up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward. Tone the inner thighs and the inner arches so your legs don't swing backwards as your torso comes down. Inhale, glide your heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, left toes back. Inhale to rise, crescent. Exhale, descend. Touching the two blocks firmly, please step to plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Use your cat pose spine. Exhale, step over one foot and make the shape of seal pose. And then use the inhale to light up the seal pose. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. And let's exhale, left foot forward into the basic lunge. Press into your right toes. Inhale, glide up. Yeah, beautiful. Exhale, come slowly forward and down. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. And exhale to deeply bow to the legs. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Sense the larger canvas on which even your practice is being painted right now. You just added to the tradition of yoga by your dedication right there. We're going to practice again, same. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, left toes back. Okay, this time, inhale, rise, crescent. Now keep the right hip and heel steady. Exhale, Anjaneyasana, lower the left knee down. And then inhale, rise up, look up. Exhale, sweep the arms wide, and as you touch the two blocks now, inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, roll the spine forward, plank. Exhale, step over one foot and then the other, seal pose. So you've got the basic shape of seal pose, and then inhale to light that up. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, rise to your crescent. Good, and exhale, come down, Anjaneyasana. Beautiful. Okay, inhale, rise up. Exhale, descend. Touching the two blocks, we're going to inhale, step forward, heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale for a deep bow to the legs. Inhale, rise up like you're adding to the painting on the canvas. Exhale to the heart, not forgetting that larger canvas. We're going to add to the sequence again. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Utkatasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Left toes back. Crescent, which I sometimes call Chandrasana, named after the moon. Exhale, touch your left knee down carefully. Okay, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Okay, exhale, touch the two blocks with your fingertips. Inhale, Parsvottanasana, straighten your right leg, glide your hips back. And then exhale, rotate your pelvis and start turning, Trikanasana. Inhale to light up the pose. Exhale, sweep your left arm past your left ear like a brush stroke on the canvas. Bring the left fingertips down. And now bend your right knee and step backwards to plank pose. Okay, inhale, downward facing dog pose. Let's exhale thoughtfully here. Now inhale, roll forward through cat pose on your way to plank. Exhale, step over 1 foot at a time to come into the shape of seal pose. So your toes are pointed behind you. Inhale to go up. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. And exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, glide up. Chandrasana. The exhale, Anjaneyasana, touch the right knee down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lightly touch the 2 blocks. And then we're going to inhale, straighten both legs. It's kind of like going towards Parsvottanasana. On your way to Trikanasana, exhale, pivot your right heel down. And then inhale to light up your Trikanasana. Exhale, right arm past your right ear, again like a brush stroke on the canvas. And then inhale, bend the left knee. And exhale, step forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva. Exhale to the heart. And please bend both knees and come down to the blocks. I'll back up so you can see better. So in that one place in the sun salutation that we were just doing, you had, let's put the right foot forward, left foot back. You had come from Trikanasana with the right knee then bent like this. So let's do the same. Go up to Trikanasana for a moment. You notice that the pelvis is rotated to your left and that the outer right hip has to kind of tuck under. You want that sense that you've got this underside support. And then when you're coming down and you bend the right knee, let's think of that as like a Parsvottanasana for the front leg, but you still have that underside of support under the right hamstring at the sitting bone. Your leg is also externally rotated. So I want us to keep those components and to work on a sequence that goes, I gotta move these things, excuse me. To work on a sequence, it's gonna take us from this kind of north to the, what is this? Northeast and then northeast-east. Okay, so let's start with the 2 hands on the blocks and the legs with your right leg bent like Parsvottanasana. Breathe in and out through the nose. Keeping your right heel grounded is going to be important here. So that's going to be a constant. Keep your left footprint also grounded. And as you inhale, straighten your right leg like the base of Trikanasana. And then exhale, bend your right knee. Try to keep the left leg really stable. So it's not like your left leg just follows your right leg. Let's do it again. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Notice that the pelvis glides back and there's more weight in your left foot. Try to sustain that as you exhale and bend your right knee. So the left heel as grounded, left leg very stable. And do that one more time, please. Straightening slowly. And then as you bend your right knee, again, try to keep the left upper inner thigh lifted, the left heel grounded. Bring your 2 blocks to the inside of your right foot, and let's go from north to northeast. And then once more, you're going to keep the right heel grounded, right outer hip strong. And as you inhale, straighten the right leg. So now your torso has a different angle. And as you exhale, bend the right knee deeply, keeping your left heel grounded, left upper inner thigh lifted. We'll do it twice more. So you may sense sensations on the right leg, right inner thigh, right outer hip. Try to give attention to what's contributing to that being a possibility. The groundedness of your left foot, left upper inner thigh, the angle of the pelvis. And we're going to go north, east, east. So now the angle of the pelvis is yet again different. And this movement you're going to have to kind of supervise from inside your right hip joint. There's going to be an inclination for the right knee to drop into center. Okay, so as you inhale, straighten your right leg in line with your right toes. And then exhale, bend your right knee, lining it up with the toes. We'll do it twice more. Okay, last one. Notice any sense of the strength needed in the right hip. And this time as you come down, you're going to maintain, let's keep the right knee over the right heel, lined up with the toes. And you may come down to your forearms. I'm laughing at my cat because now is the time, I suppose, for him to join the practice. So for you to keep the right hip steady, it may not be possible to come down to your forearms, but whatever action you decide, blocks higher, blocks shorter, elbows, hands, keep the right hip very stable. And the inner right thigh, you're lengthening towards the right third toe. And then transition to your two hands. And once again, straighten the right leg and walk your hands back around to bookend your right foot. And let's step backwards to downward dog pose and see how things are feeling. Now the other side. Step the left foot forward. Okay, start with the right heel down as you would in Trikanasana or Abaddrasana. And let's bend the right knee, so left knee, excuse me, so it lines up with the third toe of your left foot. Now that you know what we're doing, you have a sense of it, at least in your body. Let's practice it without losing a sense of the larger canvas. So each breath and each movement of the leg is like a brush stroke in the painting. Without any sense of rushing the process. What you're doing is moving fluid and energy, prana, through the body right now. So it's not how many times you can do this and how quickly you can get it done. Let it be a loving practice. As you glide the left knee forward, like a brush stroke in the painting, keep your right outer heel grounded. The next time that you bend the left knee, you're going to put the blocks to the inside of the left ankle. And so we're going to go from north to northwest. And start again with the breath, like a brush stroke. As you bend the left knee, lengthen the inner thigh. Keep the right upper inner thigh lifted. And keeping your mind on the simple intimacy of the movements as brush strokes on a canvas. We're going to walk the blocks to the northwest west. Just my way of saying it. As you move through, listen for where there is steadiness in your actions, any place that the mind kind of intrudes or hijacks. And come back to the brush strokes you're making. And even more important, to the canvas on which your painting is happening. The next time that you have your left knee lined up with the toes of your left foot, you are welcome to come down to your forearms. Notice the quality of your efforts, your breath, and your connection to that canvas that I'm referring to. And then place your hand. You can slowly straighten your left leg, and let's step backwards to downward dog pose and take notice. Roll forward to touch your knees down, and please come to Abaddrasana. You can come to kneeling, sitting back. When you come to Abaddrasana, turn your palms face down. Notice the place where there's the most energy in the body right now. Right? Having moved energy about, what is happening inside. Now, the bandhas are also ways of moving energy through the body. So that particular sequence where we just were was really more focused on the lower hemisphere of the body. I'm going to ask you now to take one block on the medium setting and one block on the tall setting like this. Now, depending on how flexible your back is, you might feel that this block is going to be too tall for your shoulder blades, in which case you could sit on a folded blanket, or you can have a more open blanket, or you can have, yet again, a more open blanket. It's a matter of adjusting what you need this height to be. I'm not someone who uses a blanket there, so I'll just show you the raw version of the pose. So when you lie back, the base of the shoulder blades go right on the edge of the blanket, the block, and your head goes on the tall setting. So this is a little bit like the fish pose sequence we've been practicing. The elbows can come down to the floor. That may not be the case for everyone, but I'd like you to make that effort that the elbows are bent and they come towards the floor, palms face down. As you find your way into the position, then you can take the legs and stretch them straight out. Okay, squeeze the shoulders back so you can have a sense that you're able to actually squeeze the shoulders back around the outside edges of the block. And then let the shoulders relax where they are. Notice the process of the in-breath and check to see for yourself, is it possible to have a relaxed experience of the inhale going from the lower to the middle to the upper? Do you have a sense of the movement there as being accessible, easeful? Like the paint is a very nice texture. It's easy to spread the paint on the canvas. The breath moving easefully through the torso. Now let's inhale, raise the arms up and take them overhead. Interlace your fingers and reach the heels of your hands away from the crown of your skull. Notice that your head, for some of you, is going to be higher than your arms. Notice what happens to the chin and the throat and the energy patterns in the body. You may notice more freedom in the low belly. You might notice a little bit of pressure comes to the head. And then raise the arms up. You may notice when you lower the arms down that the pressure in the head fades and the belly feels normal again. And then take the tall block, and for those who can, make it into a medium block so your head is back now at the same height as the heart. And see again if you have this capacity for the breath to be from the lower third to the middle third to the upper third of the torso. And then raise both arms up. Inhale overhead. Interlace your fingers. Turn the heels of the hands inside out. It's possible that again, as you take the arms overhead, some of you will find that your arms are lower than your head is. Others will not find that to be the case. Notice how the exhale happens at the deep low abdomen. What happens in the mid-abdomen, floating ribs, and in the upper chest. And then release your arms to go back down alongside your torso. You can bend the elbows so your palms are face down, kind of like fish pose. Now for those who'd like to and who can, you're going to put the block on the flat setting behind your head. So it's yet again lower. And we'll inhale, take the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers, turn the heels of your hands inside out. Notice how the head position changes the experience of the breath here, right? You likely do not have pressure in the head now like you might have in the first one. The tall block mimics more closely Jalandhar Bandha. This one doesn't mimic that. And for anybody who would like to try, you can now do without the block under your head. And there'll be no sense of Jalandhar Bandha. And then for all, whether you have no block under the head, flat block, or medium block, whatever it is, please hold the back of your head Curl yourself forward to look towards the toes, and then place your hands and rise up to sitting. Take the block and put it away, and lie down for what I'm going to call a rustic Shavasana. Rustic, I'm entertaining myself. It means it's not like all yoga props. It's a rustic Shavasana. But notice that you had moved energy in the lower body, then we just transferred moving energy in the upper body. What happens now when you surrender to the canvas? And close the eyes if you haven't yet, and just see, imagine you're watching the artistry of life happening through your body. Invite your mind to get really still, so you're not commenting on what you're seeing, you're not narrating, not judging, not analyzing. Okay. As you continue resting, let the body get heavier in this rustic Shavasana, but let the mind get lighter. Its observations more and more sattvic, like the sattvic time of day. So let the body get heavier with relaxation, and your mind lighter and lighter, more and more free from judging, analyzing, ruminating, more free from perseverating. Simply observing. You may have to momentarily remind the mind that you're only noticing. Observing how the energy moves within you as a result of your practice, now guided by the larger intelligence of your body. Remind yourself once again, you're simply observing, witnessing the artistry happening through you. And deeply relax the mind in the sattvic time of the day. We witness that which is lucid, that which is clear, larger than our thoughts. Now, quietly over the next few moments, just become lightly aware of the body and your mind. And please make a thoughtful transition to come back to your seat so we can share a brief pranayama moment to bring us to a meditation. Once you come upright, establish the seat that's going to be comfortably yours for the next several minutes. Mhm. And come up in your kind of witness mode, right? Just witnessing. Keeping your hands in your lap, hands over the knees. Let's take a very simple Ujjayi breath with no inhale suspension. And then a very thoughtful exhale, Ujjayi, with a good squeeze into the release without inhaling. You're going to squeeze the abdomen to release the exhale. Release the exhale muscles without inhalation, and see if you can hover in that initial suspension comfortably for a few moments longer than you were earlier in class. And then you'll tone the abdomen before you inhale again. And just try that twice, maybe 3 times, and see if it gives you a place of real quietude inside to sit. So one cycle in this practice is going to be the simple Ujjayi inhale, the deliberate Ujjayi exhale, the squeeze, without inhalation, the release, adding nothing extra to that, and then tone before inhaling. And that'll be one cycle, and you rest between cycles. And then sit quietly for a few minutes of meditation, please. We'll be at rest in the quiet of the mind, the canvas. Please bring your hands together at your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. A joy to be with you. Thank you. Namaste. I am going to come up and see you, and I'll bring my little source of mischief. One source of mischief is still in the room. I'll bring him with me. Yeah. You ready? Let me change my camera, see if we can get it over. Yeah. I know you're getting anxious about noises outside this room. Yeah. You want to go see what those noises are? Okay. How are you feeling? Let me check the chat.